Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news. So, as we dive into the latest buzz surrounding the Cleveland Browns, we find ourselves at a fascinating crossroads. The offseason has been filled with questions, debates, and a lot of speculation about what the future holds for this storied franchise. And honestly, no matter how much you try to predict what's coming, the truth is, there are so many moving parts right now that nothing is set in stone. The Browns, like many teams, are trying to figure out their quarterback situation, arguably the most critical position in football, and the upcoming training camp is going to be pivotal in shaping their plans for the season. When you look at Cleveland's recent quarterback landscape, it's clear that the team is weighing options, both young and experienced. On one hand, you have SHEDEUR Sanders, the talented young quarterback who has been turning heads with his impressive arm and athleticism. Sanders, son of legendary Deion Sanders, made waves in college football and has been viewed as a potential future star. But the question is, will the Browns give him a real shot to start, or will they lean more toward a veteran presence? The tricky part here is that Sanders is still very much a rookie, a raw talent that needs development, and Cleveland might be cautious about throwing him into the fire too early. On the other hand, there's a more traditional route that many believe makes more sense right now. Cleveland has a roster full of experienced players, and giving the keys to a veteran or an older quarterback seems like a more logical step, at least in the short term. Some analysts think the Browns might prefer someone with a proven track record, even if it's not glamorous or flashy. The idea of starting a younger quarterback with less NFL experience, like Sanders, might be appealing in theory, but the reality of competing in the AFC North, arguably the toughest division in football, demands stability and proven leadership. That brings us to the debate about who should be under center for the Browns when the season kicks off. Right now, nobody has a definitive answer, but if we were to put our chips on a prediction, Kenny Pickett from the Pittsburgh Steelers is often cited as a likely candidate to start Cleveland's opener against Cincinnati. And that's not just because he's familiar with the league, but also because he's shown flashes of competence and resilience. Pickett, at 27, has been quietly building a solid resume, even if his arm strength has been questioned. He's the kind of quarterback who plays smart, makes good decisions, and can be a game manager when needed. Now, let's talk about why Pickett might be the favorite in this race. Despite some critics pointing out that his arm isn't the strongest, what matters most in the NFL is winning games, and Pickett has demonstrated that he can do just that. His record with the Steelers, 14-10 over 24 starts in 2022 and 2023, shows he's capable of leading a team to victory. Even after being traded last March to the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, he left a decent impression with his poise and decision-making. It's important to remember that while stats can sometimes be misleading, the ability to win is what counts most at this level. When Cleveland's front office, led by General Manager Andrew Berry, speaks about their quarterback options, you get a sense that they're not just throwing darts in the dark. Berry's comments about Pickett have been quite optimistic, highlighting his decision-making, mobility, and ability to protect the football. In fact, Berry mentioned that Pickett has a clear path to improvement, especially in a system that could better suit his strengths. That's a significant statement, coming from a GM who's known for his analytical approach and strategic thinking. It suggests that the Browns might see a lot of potential in Pickett, or at least believe he gives them the best shot at competing this season. But hold on, this doesn't mean Cleveland has completely dismissed the possibility of Sanders becoming their starting quarterback in the future. If Sanders doesn't show enough development, or if the coaching staff feels he isn't ready yet, the Browns might decide to move on sooner rather than later. Trading or releasing a young quarterback can be a tough decision, but sometimes necessary if the team's window for winning is closing, or if they believe a different path offers more immediate success. Now, let's consider the possible scenarios. If Cleveland does decide to stick with a veteran like Pickett, that would mean they're prioritizing stability and experience, especially in a division that doesn't give you many freebies. The AFC North is brutal. Every game is a battle, and having a quarterback who can manage the game, avoid costly mistakes, and keep the team in contention is crucial. Pickett's style, which emphasizes smart play and mobility, might be exactly what the Browns need to compete with the likes of Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Deshaun Watson. But what about Sanders? Well, the buzz around him is that he's a talented athlete with a cannon for an arm, but the NFL is a different beast compared to college. The transition from college to the pros is never easy, and many young quarterbacks struggle to adapt quickly. Some teams prefer to take their time developing young talent, especially if they don't feel the rookie is ready to handle the pressure of a full season. That's where the Browns might be cautious. Still, the idea of a young, dynamic quarterback could excite fans and bring a new dimension to their offense if given the right time and coaching. Talking about coaching, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski has always been known for his focus on balance and smart game management. He's worked with quarterbacks of various styles and has a good track record of developing players. Stefanski's offensive scheme is designed to protect the football and create opportunities for play-action passes, which could suit a quarterback like Sanders if he develops well. But at the same time, Stefanski is pragmatic and knows how to win with what he has, which might mean leaning on a more experienced signal caller if the rookie isn't ready. Meanwhile, the team's roster around the quarterback is also a big factor. Cleveland has invested heavily in their offensive line, which is a big plus for any quarterback trying to establish himself. The receiving core has some promising young talent, including guys like Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones, who can make plays down the field. The running game, led by Nick Chubb, is among the best in the league, providing a great foundation for any quarterback to succeed. The Browns are built to win now, and the decision at quarterback will be a major piece of that puzzle. Shifting gears a bit, let's talk about the overall outlook for Cleveland this season. The Browns have been on the cusp of greatness for several years now, but consistency has eluded them. They've had playoff appearances, but never quite managed to get over the hump and reach the Super Bowl. That's the goal for this team, and the quarterback position is a huge part of that puzzle. If they find stability at the position, whether it's Pickett, Sanders, or someone else, it could unlock the full potential of this roster. Looking at the division, the AFC North is extremely competitive. The Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers are all postseason caliber teams, and every game counts. Cleveland's success will depend heavily on their ability to find a quarterback who can perform under pressure, make good decisions, and lead the team through the gauntlet of divisional rivals. The Browns have a solid defense, a dominant running game, and a coaching staff that knows how to prepare, but the question mark remains at quarterback. Now, as we approach training camp and preseason games, all eyes will be on the Browns' QB battle. The coaching staff will be evaluating every throw, every decision, and every leadership moment. Whoever emerges as the starter will have a huge responsibility, leading a team with Super Bowl aspirations and a passionate fan base hungry for success. The pressure is immense, but so is the opportunity. Cleveland fans are known for their loyalty and patience, but let's be honest, they want to see their team competing at the highest level, and the quarterback is the key piece to that puzzle. And speaking of potential surprises, don't forget that NFL history is filled with stories of unexpected breakthroughs. Sometimes a young player takes a giant leap, or a veteran finds that extra spark late in his career. The Browns are in an interesting spot where they could go either way. They could stick with a seasoned veteran to keep things stable, or they could roll the dice and give the young guy a shot, hoping he's the franchise quarterback they've been dreaming of for years. Whatever the decision, it's going to be a fascinating storyline to follow throughout the offseason. In the wider NFL landscape, the Browns are gaining respect, but they still have a lot to prove. They've made some smart moves in free agency, and their draft class was promising, especially on defense. But ultimately, everything hinges on who can lead this team on offense. The quarterback situation is the most talked about, and rightly so, because it's the position that can elevate a team from good to great or send them back to the drawing board. So, what's next? Well, expect Cleveland to be aggressive in training camp, evaluating their options, and perhaps making some moves if they feel the need to shake things up. Remember, NFL teams often make surprises during the preseason, and the Browns are no different. They might give a young player a chance to shine or bring in a veteran if the right opportunity presents itself. The key is to find a guy who can handle the pressure, stay healthy, and lead the team to victory when it matters most. Now, for the fans out there, this is what makes NFL offseason so exciting. The anticipation, the debates, the endless possibilities. Cleveland has been knocking on the door for years, and with each passing season, they inch closer to that elusive Super Bowl. The quarterback position is the final piece in that puzzle, and whether it's Pickett, Sanders, or someone else, the journey to find that guy is what makes this season so intriguing. The Browns have a talented roster, a passionate fan base, and a coaching staff that knows how to win. All they need now is the right leader under center to truly take them to the next level. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Sanders will get his shot? Or do you think Pickett is the guy Cleveland should roll with? Maybe you have someone else in mind. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. Remember, this is a fan community, and your voice is what makes it special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We'll keep you posted on every twist and turn in this quarterback saga, and trust me, it's going to be a wild ride. Thanks for sticking with us, Browns fans, and let's keep the passion alive as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting season ahead.